So an artery comes and splits into a couple branches, and each one of those branches gets a new name. But that's not going to happen here. Because what's going to happen here is that one artery, it's really like the right subclavian becomes the axillary becomes the brachial splits into an ulnar and a radial. But one artery, quite honestly, just when it moves into a different region, becomes the next artery. The next region becomes the next artery. So that's a little confusing. So when you're way up here, let's see, is that the right or left extremity?
Left.
Be the left, because this would be the same position, palm up, so thumb out has to be the left. I don't care about right or left over here on the extremities. Just give me the blood vessel, you'll be fine. So you don't have to worry about trying to figure out if this is the right or the left extremity. It's easy enough to do, but you don't have to worry about doing that. Okay, so right up here would be the right subclavian. When it gets to the shoulder region, so you're like, well, how do you know when it gets to the shoulder region? I would just tell you, I want the name of the artery in the shoulder region. I want the name of the artery in the arm. I want this artery that branches towards the thumb. Okay? I want this artery that branches towards the little finger. You got it? Okay. My finger would be the left subclavian. Just subclavian's okay. And then right here in the shoulder region is the axillary artery. And then when you get down here into the arm, it's the brachial artery. And then the brachial artery splits to become a radial artery towards the thumb, tracing along the radius in the forearm, the bone of the radius. And then over here, the ulnar, and this doesn't come out, so it's a little tough to see, but the ulnar would travel down on this side, across the ulna to the little finger, okay? And that's it. So they're pretty easy. And there aren't any that you have to know on the other side. So that would be the arteries. Some of these arteries you can't see unless you take off the muscles, because they're beneath the muscles. So on some of the extremity models, to see them, you kind of got to take the tape off, pull the muscles out to see the underlying arteries and veins. Okay, so that's going to be, oh, I forgot, there's one more that you got to know, and that's on here called the superficial palmar notch. So the superficial palmar notch is this one that goes across the palm of the hand right there. Okay. This is going to be what we can find on the lower extremity model. Some of this we really don't have to take apart all that much. The deep femoral is one that you don't have to know. So I know it's on here, but you can strike it and you don't have to know it. But I think all the other ones you can find with no problem at all. Deep femoral, you don't have to know. But I'm pretty sure you can find all the others, and that would probably be true of the veins as well. I can probably find all these veins. The only place where the veins break down, and I'll have to see because I don't think these veins are on this model. I think the deeper you get, it doesn't have veins. Okay, but these are pretty easy because these would be femoral vein, femoral artery, femoral nerve. So that's pretty easy. Okay, so we got femoral artery and the femoral vein. I'm not going to pull this off. They just run down inside the thigh. But we are going to pick them up back here, and we do have to take this off. So I'm just going to take that tape off, probably put the tape back on because it's nice to have all this sort of held together. Okay, what's the area behind the kneecap called? Popliteal. So here's the same thing, where you kind of want a branch point to give new names, but that's not what happens. One artery just becomes the next one when you move out of a particular body region. So, on the big toe side is this big toe would be medial, right? And on the big toe side, that's where the tibia is going to be. On the little toe side, that's lateral, and that's going to be the fibula on the lateral side of the tibia. That'd be true right or left. You just reverse it, mirror image. Okay, so we know that big toe, that's the tibia. You would have known that anyway. Tibialis anterior, right? And the big muscle I just took off. Gas. Nemius attached to the, what's the heel bone called?
Soleus.
Calcaneus attached to the calcaneus by way of the Achilles tendon, right? Okay, so these would be popliteal arteries and veins, and that's where the veins stop. And that's why, even though I've got a few listed there on the stick diagram, you wouldn't have to know them because I know that I'm only going to test you off what I find on the models. Okay? Popliteal vein and artery. Now, this is the back of the leg, right? There's 2 tibial arteries and 2 tibial veins, but 2 tibial arteries. One of the tibial arteries runs in the back posterior tibial, and the other tibial runs in the front, and it's the anterior tibial. Okay? Easy enough? And those are the only 2 that you're going to be able to find, the anterior and the posterior tibial. So that would be it off the extremity model. And I think that's it. So listen,